An ongoing wavelength of change. Time is motion of the mind. Be bold. July 13, 2025. I just woke up, but I have this sense that things are moving underneath and between. Whatever calm I thought that was, there is some turbulence underneath, one that shows me that indeed things are different, and more undulation calls me to search again. This is between the real waves of the ocean hitting, the long ocean swell that leads me to adapt, to calibrate. Some of the tides are just moving along, so I am floating, surfing, yet I have to maneuver, step by step, the wave of technological change, responding with agility, capturing the momentum of future unfolding events. Still within that movement that has a rhythm, at times there are moments where that wavelength hits something, and I need to settle suddenly and make a maneuver. I stay navigating. I do not sink. I do not jump off the vessel. I do not stay still. Those are the navigation skills that I have to bring forth every other day. So the sensation does not seize the current, it adapts, and I submit to it. I could see how now it is not entangled, it is free. So it is just opening my hands and letting the last piece of thread go, slip through my fingers, loosening now belonging to the wind. Trust nature, trust my life, trust the circulation of energy, trust the movement, trust the space that opened. A new relationship within me. I can feel its dimensions without sensing someone else's breath near me. The space expands through my own presence, and I begin to recognize the distance between who I was when I held the thread and who I am as it dissolves and washes away. The thread becomes part of the current. My hand remains open. The wind carries its movement, opening space around as it is visible. Oh, what a gesture. I had the devotion, the guilt, and the dedication. I had the care. Yes, I overextended at times. I did not know how to measure care. Without a container, it diluted and was wasted. The sequencing started to become a motion in itself. I started to maneuver the waves, and that is when I started seeing things all connected, different kind of threads. Form shaped the container through the small shifts. A displacement here, a dynamic turn there, flow migrating yet always in a wandering path. Each adjustment created another point of contingency between the wave and the vessel, between the space and the fill-in, moving through it, between the silence and the joy. In 2008, I made a series of encasements, timepiece, be here now, that were aligned and arranged on the wall and had short phrases containing the word time appear and disappear from behind a two-way mirror. These short sentences were synced within a span of a minute, then followed by 60 short vertical lines that would count every second. The words faded in and faded out in a digital calligraphy, showing a yellow-green color, one phrase moving through 7 different boxes across the wall. One of them was simple: time is motion of the mind. There was a sound, that of a sonar, that will call you closer, revealing slowly both words and your face in it. By the time you noticed the words shifting, they had already faded. You were pulled in by sound of the sonar, then revealing the truth of your own presence. Because the animations were all encased behind a mirror, as a viewer you were forced to see yourself through the appearance of these words. Whatever reflected back was your own image, seen by itself. The one mirror already given your own presence enough to validate itself. If you stayed long enough in front of the glass, the piece revealed itself as the moment you caught yourself looking. The mirror held the image of an individual observing time. The wave holds the movement of a person inhabiting it. I can now see my solar self for the first time through movement. The image emerges through the way I steer, through the way I respond to the pressure of the water, through the way I remain present inside the changing distance between one crest and the next. Time, peace, be here now seemed easy then. I now know it has encapsulated the last 18 years of my life, a full nodal return where in this new cycle I stop hiding behind otherness and welcome a full radiant transformation. I now reckon this time elapsed bringing forth my unconscious into consciousness. Art has always been the way I process my emotional body. I am not attached to the object itself, to the materiality of light, boxes or mirrors or storage units where things get lost. I'm in flow with the process, not to what happens that moment the piece delivers the information I needed. Dreams work the same way. They come to me clearly, carrying messages from the underworld, and when I can see the image plainly, I let it go and move to the next moment. There is also a wave that stretches, showing itself as slow maneuvers that time with the undercurrents, meeting the other airy currents that may rock the boat and actually give space for a new sensation never felt before. Calibrating, tweaking, allowing the current of the waters to come through and move the wave so I do not lose the equilibrium. I instead embrace the place. A wavelength measuring the distance between one crest and another. Rhythm, repetition. I meet myself again across the distance with another perception, another maneuver, another relationship to the space I occupy. Time is motion of the mind because the mind recognizes the distance. It remembers the previous crest. It senses the one beneath the vessel and perceives the movement bearing everything forward. This summer is showing up as a solar potential. We have to let go the old masks and align with more attractive perspectives. Unknown, yes. The courage of embracing them gives the pulse to the wave. This is how it feels to be solar, unafraid, trusting an invitation, one that moves through the wavelength. I feel it through the distance that has opened between one version of myself and the next, with both belonging to the same ongoing undulation. I'm not selling you a book. I'm inviting you into an unusual journey. July 15, 2026. I just finished writing my book, 60 months of dictation, days of insights, walks along the Venetian islands, silence, uncomfortable feelings that learn to calibrate and rewire my nervous system. How do I feel? Fucking great. Pre-launch a couple of weeks from now. In the skies. Every astrologer is talking about a basket-shaped event. So what? What is this information good for if you cannot apply the goodies to your own evolution with awareness? The age of the influencer telling you what to do next is way gone. Some are going to jail. Yep. Read the footnote. Some are desperate selling peptides. Others are changing the game. Write X so I can send you a link. While ChatGPT writes the copy of the next article, real, etc. Fake it till you make it is not working anymore. I just strike through all this text and it says, not sure yet for the tone or the necessity of this last paragraph. There is an excitement about my internal life that is changing, but there's a lot of drag about the outside world because I do not relate to it anymore. I'm actually looking to start resonating with people at a very different level. Jupiter is about to cross my descendant on the next full moon on July 29th. The planet Jupiter takes almost 12 years to go around the sun. Since 2019, it has traveled from my 12th house, ruled by Capricorn, through my first house, all the way to the 6th, the lower part of the chart that represents the intimate self in all modalities: individuality, values, needs, communication, emotional resonance, creative outlet, and last but not least, habits. It has been diving into my unconscious, restructuring it in search of meaning and truth. This time around, since 2014, the journey has been dense, scary, and then delightful as I played my favorite game, the professional hermit. I'm ready to confront my solar self versus the sticky collective that in the past swallowed myself with no boundaries and gave me the impression I needed to hold everyone's needs. Not. I'm ready to play authentically and let go all ways of relating that no longer offer anything beneficial. I am stoked and ready to meet you and you and you. Bye-bye.